Nothing to do this week? Don't miss another event. Go to blacksinsanantonio.com for our event calendar. The home of the largest business directory in San Antonio with an African American focus. Sign up today for our weekly e-blast and text message alerts. Help us make this a better community. Connect, empower, grow.
Because it matters to you, it matters to us. It is Black Video News with your host, Keith Scott. Black Friday Live, San Antonio. Here we go.
I want to thank you all for tuning in to Black Friday Live. I'm your host, Keith Scott. You know where we always come with hot topics and subject matter, always with a special guest. Hey, I'm flying solo with my guest today, man. This brother right here has been putting it down in the music industry and gospel for quite some time. I'm so thankful to have him right here on the set today, Mr. John R. Stevens.
Hey, how you doing, man?
What's going on,
Not much, brother?
Man, Ohio is in the house.
Yes, sir. Ohio, man.
What's going on, John?
Not much, man. What's going on with you, Keith?
Nothing, man. Good to have you on the set,
I'm glad to be here, man.
Got a little piece of Ohio right here on Black Friday Live today,
sir.
man.
Yes,
Tell my
sir.
viewers a little bit about yourself, sir.
Man, John Stevens, as Keith was saying, grew up in Akron, Ohio, Cleveland, Northeast Ohio area. Been singing since the age of 5. Playing instruments since age 18. I'm a singer, songwriter, musician, producer. Play a little bit of drums, piano, that type of stuff, man.
Man, I wish I'd have had the keys on the set today. You could give a little tape, but that's all right. You got that other instrument today. But yeah, man, growing up, Ohio, man, a lot of influences in Ohio. You know, a lot of cats from Akron. We was just talking about it for my viewers out there. Howard Hewitt,
Yes,
James
sir.
Ingram.
James
The
Ingram.
list goes on and on. I mean, Gerald Levert and them, and they daddy was up the street in Canton.
Eddie, yep.
Eddie and them
That's
from
my
Canton,
family.
Ohio.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, that's your family, man.
Yeah.
So, you know, tell me,
Yeah.
man, growing up in Ohio, man, did you ever think you'd be doing this still?
Not on the level that I'm doing it now. I always knew that music would be, you know, a part of my life. It wasn't until I was like 18, 19 maybe that stuff really kind of started taking off for me.
Right.
And I mean, it started off in the studio. Then one person heard this and was like, man, you really got something. And I started playing piano. A lot of people don't know that. People think I started playing like when I was a kid. I didn't start till after I graduated high school.
Wow,
So,
okay.
I mean, that took off, and then I started writing and producing, and I was like, well, let me try to put something together. And it just took off from there, man.
You took off from there.
Yeah.
But man, you just said something interesting, man. You know, for that young cat out there, or that young female out there, artist that maybe even want to get into playing an instrument or something, man. Would you just dedicate yourself to learning how to play, man?
Yeah. I mean, my mother's side of the family is like, that's like the music gold mine.
Okay.
And so my mother plays, all of her siblings play and sing. My grandmother, her twin sister plays. And then my grandfather, and this is like a crazy story. My grandfather, who I'm named after, John, had like 16 kids. And my oldest uncle, his oldest son, is one of the OJs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Are you serious?
Walter Williams.
Walter Williams.
That's my mom's oldest brother.
Yeah, lead. That's the lead guy, man.
Yep.
So it just kind of runs in the bloodline.
Yeah, it's in the bloodline, man. And so I guess when I kind of decided, okay, music was something I wanted to do, I really, pushed myself to practice. Like, every day I would come home from work, I was working at Popeyes.
Okay, Popeyes.
Come home smelling like grease and chicken, sit at the piano, play for hours and hours and hours, man. I just really dedicated myself, man. So to anybody out there that's watching or listening, if you, think you want to sit down and play or sing or whatever, you're never too old and you're never too young to start.
Yeah, well, that's good stuff, man, because I wanted you to kind of influence that young artist out there.
Yeah.
Kind of just cultivated, got on them instruments and just dedicated yourself
Yes,
to playing. But, man, who were some of the influences, man, growing up? Because there's probably so many of them.
Yeah, there's a lot, man.
And you just actually gave me a part of history talking about Howard Hewitt's mother, how she had a gospel show in Akron, Ohio.
Right, gospel radio show, the Elvin H. Brown Gospel Hour.
So who else, kind of influenced you, man, out of Ohio, in
out of Ohio, outside of my family, I did listen to a lot of R&B growing up, so I was familiar with James Ingrams, the Howards, Howard Hewitt, the OJs, of course. There's so many, man. Gospel artists, Daryl Coley, James Moore. I listened to a lot of Take Six.
Okay.
Back in the day.
Right.
Gospel artists.
Now I'm talking about go a little more traditional with me.
Traditional?
Yeah, I'm talking,
like Kent spirituals.
Like
that. Okay, yeah.
Go a little more traditional with me, because those are really kind of the guys that have paid the way when we talk about, the Hawkins and
Well, yeah, I listened to the Hawkins. I wasn't so much
Andre Crouch.
Now back in the day, I was familiar with their music, because I sung in a choir and all that stuff.
Right.
But it wasn't until I got older that I really appreciated the songwriting and the message that they gave. I mean, I could, sing Andre Crouch or a Hawkins song, at the drop of a dime.
Okay.
But it didn't mean anything to me or really inspire my musicianship until I got older.
Okay.
Kind of understanding the time that they wrote the song and the message and how it moved people back then. Of course, you're older, you go through things, and certain songs have certain meanings to you at different points in your life.
Right.
So at that point in time, I was like, okay, yeah, this is like some deep stuff.
Yeah. Start reading into the message of the song.
Started studying them and everything, man. So yeah, it took on a different meaning for me, probably like in my early 20s. But coming up as a kid, I knew who, a lot of the choir guys were, like the, like I said, the Hawkins, Andre Crouch, Orlando Draper, Mississippi Mass, with Frank Williams, Your Grace and Mercy, like that type of stuff. Yeah, I knew about that stuff.
Yeah,
but
the old traditional choirs.
Right.
Chicago Mass Choir.
Right. Every state had a Mass choir. New Jersey Mass, LA Mass.
Yeah. That was some really, amazing music.
Yeah.
That came, man, with a lot of message, a lot of harmony, and a lot of feeling. That's one of the things that I love about gospel radio, man, and gospel music just itself, is just the feeling, man.
Yeah.
The message and the music. But man, some of the things that you're doing when you sitting down writing, man, where does it come from, man? Are we talking past experiences, life, real issues?
Past experiences, life issues, a quick inspiration. I'll get in my word and I'll be reading the scripture and a melody will come to me. Or, I'll be walking down the street and hear, God speak to me about something. Now, let me go and write this. I mean, it comes from a number of different avenues.
Right.
Yeah.
So now, man, you're doing the gospel thing too, but, you're also, you're in music up. You're doing the, aren't you ahead of a choir? Your band, you're leading choir right now, right?
Yeah. I'm the music director at Macedonia.
Music director.
Yeah,
that's
Macedonia
what
Baptist
I was.
Church.
That's where I was going with it. Music director. But yeah, so tell me what that's all about, man. The music director.
There's a lot that comes with that outside of music. And that's the obvious part. When leading a group of people, especially in church,
right?
A big part of it is administration.
Okay.
Making sure. Not that you have rehearsals, but everything is scheduled properly. You have an itinerary. You know who you're working with. You know what they can do, and also kind of pushing them, and then to bring the music and the religious aspect into it. Making sure they sound good. Making sure that everybody that's under you knows what you're singing about. How they can relay that same message that we hear from the Kent Spirituals, the Andre Crouches, the Hawkins. Relay that same message in your local church, and still encourage people. Bring that good down home, spiritual experience to people, man. And I love doing that.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. Now for my viewers out there, man, let me not get tongue twisted on this one. But for my viewers out there, John, man, you just released something too.
Yes, sir.
Early this year.
Yes,
Tell
sir.
my viewers a little bit about what you just released.
I was blessed enough to release my first full-length CD entitled Second Wind. This is a project that I've been working on for about 6 years.
Okay.
6 years. And about 4 years ago, I was ready to release it. And then I ended up moving to San Antonio.
Okay.
So that put everything on halt, me kind of, getting adjusted to living down here and then picking back up and working. And
now, did you come from Ohio?
Yeah, I came straight from Ohio.
Straight from Ohio to San Antonio.
Straight from Cleveland, Ohio, man.
So how long you been in the Alamo City now?
Today marks 4 years.
Marks 4 years since you've been here in Texas, this part of Texas?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's cool, man. You're making an impact, man. What you got going on, later on down the line in the year? Got any shows popping up or anything my viewers could, follow
Yeah, I'm actually, I'm planning just a small promo tour to push the album Second Wind and some other things that I'm doing musically. So when we get everything situated, I'll definitely, shoot it to you, man, and hope to see all y'all out there as well.
Yeah, man, you know, definitely, man. And, you know, I want my viewers to know, man, if they want to, you know, get connected with you, John, and, you know, for your followers out there, man, how can, you know, my viewers get connected with you when it comes to your music?
You can always keep up with me. I have a Facebook page, Facebook artist page under Feel Free Music Co. Keep up with me on Instagram and Twitter. That's Feel Free Music, PHILFREE Music.
Okay. Well, man, you know, man, we got nothing but a little space and time right here before we end this segment, man. Come on and give my viewers a little taste of that, little taste of that new single, man. One of them hot tracks you got, man.
Oh, man, something off the album. Okay,
yeah, come on, man. Bless us with a little something this morning right here on Black Friday Live.
There is a name I love to hear. Oh, I love to sing his word. It sounds like music in my ear. The sweetest name on earth.
Yeah, my man. Hey, I want to thank John for being on Black Friday Live. It's been a blast, man. Keep up with what's going on with Mr. John Stevens out there in the gospel world. I'm Keith Scott, as always. We'll see you next time right here on Black Friday Live. As always, be encouraged.
Yes, sir.
I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
I want to thank you all for tuning right back to Black Friday Live. I told you I was coming back, but I didn't tell you who I was coming back with. I've got Pastor Claudette A. Copeland. She is in emeritus status right now. If you don't know what emeritus status is, I'm going to let her tell you, but she's right here. She's joining us right here today on Black Friday Live. How you doing, Pastor C?
I'm wonderful, Brother Keith. Thank you for having me on Black Friday Live.
Thank you, Pastor C. I got Pastor C on here. Pastor C, just for my viewers out there, some may not know what emeritus is. Can you please tell them what emeritus is?
Well, after a lifetime of service, after serving at one church for 33 years, I have now stepped into a seat of counsel. Not so much active duty anymore, but a season of counsel because of the service that I've given. Emeritus is kind of a seat of honor.
Yeah.
A seat now where I am called upon for counsel, but I'm not called upon to be in the office 7 days a week.
Well, you know, for my viewers, she is still the first lady of the church. You know, Bishop Copeland, they've been in ministry for 30 years right here in Windcrest, Texas, for my viewers. But Pastor C, how are you making the adjustments? I know, you know, it's probably some well-needed rest, you know, with the assignment that God has had you on, but just 30 years of ministry and now to be in emeritus status. How's it feeling?
Well, technically, it's 50 years of ministry because I was called at 15 years old and have been in ministry all of my adult life. Have never had a second career. This is what I've done. The call of the Lord has been on my life and I've answered, and I've tried to be faithful through these years. So as one might know, I might be emeritus from 33 years at one church, but I am never released. The Bible says that the gifts and the callings of God are irrevocable.
Yes.
God does not let us excuse ourselves from the service to the kingdom and to God's people.
Right.
So after these years now of doing one thing, preaching the gospel has been my passion and my joy, but I'm now preaching it in a different way.
Correct.
With a different level of public exposure, a different level of public connection.
Right. So a different way, but 50 years in the ministry. But now, God has called you to another ministry. And I know this has been a passion for you, even probably, before we even knew you started ministry. It's just the wellness of people.
Yes.
The wellness of God's people. And I know that, now that you're venturing off, that's one of the things that you're going to be doing with the Wellness Center. So just briefly kind of just touch on the Wellness Center and give us a little update on it.
The church has often been criticized for being narrow in its scope. The church has often been criticized for being so heavenly minded that we're no earthly good. And that's been sometime an accurate critique. For this next season, the holistic ministry to people has been birthed in my spirit. 1 year ago, we incorporated WEHR, We Are, and it is called the Women's Educational and Wellness Retreats Incorporated. And it is now a time for us to focus from just theory, and preaching is more than theory, but it is theoretical to so many people, to move now into practice. Someone said to me the other day, "Oh, Pastor Copeland, you've gone from preaching to practicing medicine now, I see." It is not that we're practicing medicine, but we are practicing preaching in a more practical way. The wellness of people, the wholeness of people. John said like this, he said, "Beloved, I wish above all things that you would prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers." And so now the Lord has impressed upon me and some caring professional individuals that we might help God's people to not just prosper, and God wants you to have some money, and not just to have a good soul, which prepares you for eternal life and good life here, but that in-between thing, being in health. Did you know that Black Lives Matter?
Yes.
And they matter not just in terms of police brutality and social deprivation.
Right.
But they matter because we are the #1 people who die of cardiovascular disease. We kill ourselves by the fork with our pork and our sugar and our nicotine and our caffeine. We're the #1 group of people that die still from AIDS and HIV.
Wow.
Even though we have been taught safe sex practices and the church has taught you about abstinence and presenting your body, still we're dying from sexually transmitted diseases in record numbers. Right here in our own city, we have the #1 rates of childhood obesity and diabetes. And it seems that our government may or may not care about the things that we are mandated to care about as Christians.
Yeah.
So we're on a roll now. We're passionate. We feel the hand of God on our lives, that we want your mama and your big mama and your children and your prepubescent teenagers to know what it means to care for your body, to live a long life that is not compromised by sickness and disease,
right,
and to not have to come to the church to pray for miracles when we could have helped you to manage on the front end.
Yeah. And Pastor C, I just want my viewers to know you're already on the ground running. Here, on March 18th, next Sunday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., you're starting it out with We Wish You Well. Right here, a community wellness event that's going to be taking place right here in San Antonio, Texas. And Pastor C is on the ground running. Pastor C, tell us a little bit about what's going to be taking place And it says it. We want your soul and your body well.
Indeed, indeed. The Women's Wellness Initiative, right now we're looking for a place to bring people so we can help heal invisible wounds, depression, the scars of trauma, violence when your old man has beat you up for years and you couldn't tell anybody. We're looking at the Wellness Center as a place to bring people. However, until the time that we acquire the property and the land, we are going to do wellness work, even if we don't have a wellness center. Which brings me to this Sunday, March the 18th, from 1 to 3. We're partnering right on the church grounds. We are opening the doors to whosoever will, and about 30 vendors are coming to be with us so that you can know your cardiovascular health, so you can know whether or not all those pork chops and hog maws have clogged up your arteries and you're on the verge of a heart attack. There's a commercial that says the first sign of a stroke is a stroke. We want you to be able to get screened so that you can make changes in your lifestyle and your diet. These partners, the American Heart Association, the Diabetes Association. I cared for my stepdad for years, who was a 50-year diabetic, and watched him lose his sight, his kidneys, and his legs because of diabetes. These vendors are going to be there. 30 or so partners will be on the ground from 1 to 4 with no cost to any of our guests that come. If you're 40 years old, a woman 40 years old, and don't have health insurance, we want you to get your mammograms. As many of you who know me, you know that I am a breast cancer survivor. And I understand that early detection makes the difference between premature death and a long life. I want you, your friends, Big Mama and them, meet us on Sunday after your church is out, or if you don't go to church. 8700 Four Winds Drive, there on the campus of the New Creation Church. We want to serve you. We want you to know your blood pressure readings. We want you to know your mental health status. You've been thinking it was just that you were tired and fatigued, and maybe you're clinically depressed. And there's a way we can help you change your lifestyle and refer you to people that can help you, because we wish you well.
Yeah, that's good stuff, Pastor C. For more information out there, people can call 210-646-7997. That is the New Creation telephone number right in Windcrest, Texas. This event is taking place on March 18th. You still got time to be available. You know, come on out. You know, I tell people all the time, man, you got to check on your wellness. You got to check on your health. Make sure that that ticker is ticking right. It's a great opportunity for you to come out. It's a free event. And I'm going to tell you, 8700 Four Winds Drive, next Sunday, March 18th. Now, just quickly, Pastor C, I know Founders Day is coming up too also on March 18th. And just briefly touch on Founders Day for New Creation Christian Fellowship right there in Windcrest, Texas.
Well, every organization rightly appreciates its founders, whether it's your corporation, your church, your sorority, your fraternity. And for 33 years, the congregation of the New Creation Church has chosen to celebrate its founders, the Bishop Copeland and Dr. Claudette Anderson Copeland. That would be me. But our desire is to let you in the community know that church ain't about us. It's about God, God's people, and the ways through our lives that we've tried to be a blessing to you. So Founders Day, yes, we'll be there. The people will be there kind of applauding and encouraging us for staying faithful on the battlefield all these years. But in turn, we want to pass that day on to our community to let you know that we care so much about your life, your livelihood, and your health. And we want our living not to be in vain. Founders Day is for us, but it ain't about us. It's for the community, and we're giving it over to you. So meet us there. If you can come to the services, how we'd love to have you at 8 a.m. or 11 a.m. at the main campus, or 9 o'clock at our northwest campus, 11223 Bandera Road. But whatever you do, take the time to know your status, because if you manage well on the front end, you're far less likely to need a miracle on the back end.
Yeah, that's good stuff, Pastor C. I want to thank you. Keep in mind, and I'll say it again, March 18th, this wellness event is taking place at New Creation Christian Fellowship, 8700 Fort Winds, Texas. For more information, you can get it at 646-7997 with a 210 in front of it. I want to thank Pastor Claudette Anderson Copeland, my pastor, for being on Black Friday Live today. We'll see you next time right here on Black Friday Live. As always, be encouraged.